Welcome back, everybody, to Den Excelsior, the Mostly Marvel podcast. I'm your host, Ricky. With me, as always, we got Dennis.
What's up?
Daredevil, season 2, Born Again, season 2 was what's up.
It just came out 2 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing this apparently. We're doing this whole watch it day of thing again.
I mean, it kind of worked out timing wise. We didn't really. You got sick last week, so we didn't continue on Mask of Fantasia.
I ended up not being. I wasn't really as sick as I thought I was. I think I was hot because of the weather, and I was tired. I was tired because my wife has been sick for a while now, and she's been keeping me up with her illness. But I ended up. I did cancel last week because I thought it was better judgment to get sleep. But we do owe you guys a Mask of the Phantasm at some point episode of the show. Although I gotta say, quick review, it's kind of boring.
Okay,
it was a little boring.
Kind of boring.
It's a little boring. I remember thinking it was cool at the time, but I don't think it's aged well. But if you did you watch it?
No.
Oh, you didn't watch it? Okay, cool.
I usually watch it the day of when we do the shows.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did too, but somehow you still didn't watch. I don't know.
I cannot watch media at work. So
fair enough. Get a better watch.
I could try it. They'd get mad probably, but we'll see.
Cool. But yeah, we will be talking about this week. We will be talking about Daredevil Born Again, which is returned. We'll also be talking about some news and stuff that you got prepared for us. Some fun news from last week and this week. But in the meantime, tell me, Ricky, what have you been nerding out on?
What have I been nerding out on? Shrinking, of course. Monsters still.
I'm
Both of those shows are excellent.
I hate
Monarch. We haven't talked to you.
I hate Monarch so much.
Let's start there. Hold on. You watch. Let's start with the wins. Movies. Hold up. You watched Hoppers.
I watched Hoppers
in the 2 weeks. Yeah,
I did. It was fun. It was a fun movie.
All right.
I don't think it was like the greatest Pixar movie ever, but it was fun. It was fun.
Like, is it would you see a Hoppers sequel? That's kind of how they grade these things.
Nah.
Okay.
It's fine. Okay, it's fine as is.
And then the text I did get from you was Shrinking. You did text me that you finished Shrinking, and
I'm caught up.
The best thing Harrison Ford has been
in the last 20 years, for sure.
In the last 20 years.
I will say that season 3 of Shrinking is not. I'm getting a little tired of the formula, I think. Like, I really like season 1 and 2, but season 3 is starting to wear thin a little bit for me. I'm not saying I dislike it. I don't feel like it's as special now in season 3 as season, because now it's like how many famous people want to be on Shrinking kind of thing.
That's
you know what I mean?
Fair.
Yeah.
I don't want to give spoilers for the show, but like I feel like all this leads up to them killing off Harrison Ford.
Yeah, probably, because that's the point, I think. But sure. I hope it doesn't lead up all to that. I hope it leads to them establishing a practice without him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But who knows? Maybe the show can't exist without him. Like, I would like to think it could, but we'll see. All I know is it's not. It doesn't hit the same in season 3 as season 2 did.
That's fair.
Season 2 is excellent. Yeah. Are we going to talk about Monarch now?
No, we can talk about Monarch.
That show is absolute trash. The only thing that makes that show
where are you at with that show?
The only thing that makes that show like slightly better than trash maybe is it is better than the Godzilla and King Kong movies.
Okay. Sure, I'll take that.
I also hate those movies, though.
I don't not like those movies, but I also
like those movies. I think they are not good movies. I think I can tell you why, and the show has the same problem. Jurassic Park gets a pass, right? It gets a pass by you have people there in that horrible, horrific situation that shouldn't be there, right?
Yeah.
Dude invited his grandchildren to the park because he runs the park and he believes it's safe. Okay, cool. First time they get a pass. Every Jurassic Park movie after that, I do not give them a pass for inviting children along on those adventures. And every Jurassic Park continues to have children on those adventures every single time. It's quite annoying to me because I just feel like, given the serious nature of what they're doing, the amount of mental gymnastics that you have to devote to your storytelling to excuse why children or less qualified individuals are present in these stories is annoying. And I think that's the same for all of the Godzilla and King Kong movies. Well, actually, you know what? I won't say King Kong is trash. I think Skull Island was a decent movie because it's the military going to deal with a problem, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
yes,
they're
some people, but nobody there was like super unqualified to be there, right? Like they were all chosen to be on that mission. I have a problem with like a podcaster being a central character in most of the Godzilla movies. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah.
And I feel like there's always those characters.
That's fair. Millie Bobby Brown doesn't have business.
Yes. And so I hate that Monarch is trying to get me to pay attention to these two half siblings that are bonded by the fact that their dad was a cheating husband who had a family in San Francisco and also had a family in Japan. And he happened to have been working with Monarch. And so their only relationship to Monarch is the fact that their dad liked to sleep around. And I can't care less about their story. And I hate how forced it is.
How far into it are you?
I'm like episode 4 or 5, and I hate it so much.
Oh, it gets a little deeper.
I hate it
like
so much.
In terms, if that connection is bothersome, there is another layer to it.
I hate it so much.
But I'll say the one trick pony of Kurt Russell and his son works for me. Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell works for me.
I'm not gonna hate on that
and
part.
It's enough for me to keep watching that show.
I like the flashbacks of the past, of the 1950s with Anders Holmes and Wyatt Russell.
I think Anders is crazy too.
I know. I really actually do genuinely like those parts, and I think what pisses me off is how much the other parts consume the show to the point where I cannot.
Would it make you happy to know that they're getting their own spinoff?
No, that is terrible. I also hate that the random like American girlfriend that this Japanese guy has that just happens to be a hacker. I'm so tired of people like the contrivances that
Kirstie
we have
Clemens,
to get.
You know, the star of The Flash.
She was on The Flash?
She was in the Flash movie.
Oh, was that Iris?
That was Iris, yeah.
Ugh.
She's also in BVS for like a second too. Or no, she's in the. I think she's in the Snyder Cut.
Sometimes I feel like there's like actors that agents have put a lot of effort into, and they just keep signing up for things that they shouldn't be in. And I just feel like it's not even her as an actress shouldn't be there. Her character shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that character is like, I'm watching her like die of hypothermia, and I'm just like, can you please die? Because like, I don't understand why you're here.
They do interesting stuff with her with Godzilla lore. So I'm kind of with you. I don't think you're wrong. I think I love the IP enough to keep watching it. There's enough check boxes that I want to see where it's going. Yeah. And I see the I know. What is it? Is it Toho or Toho Studio? Who owns Godzilla?
Toho.
Just Toho. It's Toho's pretty protective of their IP, especially after what happened in what is it, 2000. So with the Godzilla that you've gotten has been more and more is pretty well controlled with the first movie, and then since then has kind of they've gotten a little bit more of a pass per se. They're like, okay, we'll give you Godzilla and one of his villains to fight. So my hope is for all of this to get full Batman and Robin at some point and just go back to silly, really good looking silly Godzilla, if that makes sense. Like I want to get back to that time because Godzilla's stupid. Like
I don't know if we're gonna
it gets
go back
crazy
to that, but I will revoke trash status only because I do really like the parts with Wyatt Russell. I really do. I think those scenes are great with Anders and whoever the grandma is in that story. I forget. I like those three actors. I think they're great. I love that they keep reminding you how misogynistic the 1950s are because they keep being appalled at the idea that this woman could be a doctor, that she could even be called a doctor and stuff. I do think they're doing some cool stuff there. They're showing you some, like how they, helped Godzilla become more Godzilla. Those things are cool. I just cannot stand the storyline that is in the contemporary time of the show. It hurts my soul. I can't like, there's something about like, I can't stand the fact that like we're doing this cool world building where we're showing you the lengths that Japan as a country is going to in a world post Godzilla, right? Like Godzilla is a real like natural disaster that happened in this world. And because of that, they have all these new traditions and security protocols. Like they spray every plane for parasites, before you get off the plane. It's not going to help, but they do it because they just want to be careful. They have like signs that point where you're supposed to go when a Godzilla comes and stuff like that. All these things have just like completely reframed how the entire people of this country think. And we're following the two people in Japan that are like, wait, your father probably had a reason for cheating. I'm like, get over this. Godzilla. Godzilla. I don't care. You shouldn't even care. This shouldn't even be the biggest thing that happened to you in your life right now is finding out your husband was cheating on you. There is a giant monster that just ravaged a bunch of the planet. And it like, you know what I mean?
You've seen the King of Monsters, the sequel.
Yeah, I've seen all these stupid movies, man. Okay. I can't stand them. Like, I don't get them. I know I'm there's something broken in my brain because I'm a giant nerd and I hate kaiju movies. I don't like them. But I feel like there's just, and I get it. I know the hypocrisy. I love horror movies and horror movies have to have stupid people in them. Like it has to happen, right? It's like it's like as much as I hate Prometheus because those are the most qualified people that could ever go there, they have to be extra stupid in order for all the events to happen that happen. You know what I mean? Like, I for some reason, like, I want to believe that we would have more qualified people in charge of dealing with these problems, but I could be
fair. Wrong. Yeah, it gives it an excuse for a lot of the shenanigans. But I think that's why the flashback stuff works so well and really carries the show is because they are all qualified. They are very, very qualified in the flashbacks.
Yes.
And all of the respective.
They're more qualified than anybody.
Yeah. Discipline or skill set or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, to me, the cooler part of the show is like, you see the, oh shit, a Godzilla exists, right? And then you see like the government, like 1940s government, like how do we hide this thing? And like it's that part to me is honestly more interesting than anything that happened in the present.
Yeah, because in this universe, he still has never attacked anywhere, right?
Yeah, he's been chilling for a minute.
He's been chilling, and they tried to nuke him.
Yeah,
they tried to nuke him on Bikini Atoll.
Yeah, and that's tracks 1940s logic, like
50s. Yeah.
Hey, we made this thing, right? Like 50s logic.
Yeah,
but
I like exactly 1/3 of the show because I feel like they devote way more to the current than they do to the past. And that's the part that hurts.
It loops back. I don't know if I would say in a satisfying way, but it does loop back.
I also have a problem with Kurt Russell's supposed to be playing 90-something years old. I'm assuming they explain that at some point because he's
just a 90. He's like 80 in real life. Like,
no, he's not. Is he?
I think he just turned 80.
Really?
Kurt Russell's pretty old.
There's a big difference between 80 and 90. I'm just saying.
He's 75.
There you go. See, I just don't buy him as I know he said he looks good for his age in the show in the story, but they're like, you're 90-something, right? Like
you got exposed to probably a shit ton of radiation,
which should not make him younger. Okay, that should do the opposite, is what I'm saying. It's okay. It's fine. I put it on in the background when I have something to watch or when I need something to watch. But I do actively hate I want to call them teenagers. I know they're not teenagers. The 20-something-year-olds that are trying to carry this show, but really it's Kurt Russell that's carrying their asses because they're just terrible. They're terrible actors. So, yeah. But you can't win them all. You can't win them all. You got me to watch Shrinking. I love it. It's a great show. Okay.
So I'm 2 for 3. You saw Hoppers and you saw Shrinking. It's a good track record. That's a winning track record.
I like Hoppers. It didn't hit me the way it hit you guys. I was like, I guess that's like because the Iran thing was like it was a bit much, but I get it. I get the joke.
Regime change.
I understood. Yes. But I do like Bobby Moynihan and I do love John Hamm in that show. So but yeah. But I will say that for me, because I think you wanted to know what I've been watching because I was asking you what you've been watching and you kind of switched it on me. But the thing that I have watched that I absolutely loved was season 2 of One Piece on Netflix. That show is awesome.
I saw bits of a Tony Choppa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm intrigued. I still have zero interest in One Piece, but I have just enough interest in a Tony Choppa.
Well, see, I'm the weirdo that didn't like. I didn't watch the TV, the anime.
I knew when One Piece came on at like 1 a.m. Like, oh, it's time for bed.
I never watched the anime, and I just somehow avoided all knowledge of One Piece until I watched the first season of Netflix, like when it came out, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I tried to go watch the anime, and I hated it. And I tell you, I finished season 2 this week, and once again, after season 2, I went and tried to watch the anime, and I still hated it.
It gives me like Umbrella Academy vibes.
Sure, I love Umbrella Academy.
Okay. I don't like how that show looks, so I'm not gonna watch it. There's a weird like CW-ness that lens or sheen that everything in that show has.
I don't think it's CW, but I do understand what you're saying. But this season they got some cool actors. They got some cool actors this season. They got David Dastmalchian, they got Katie Seagal, and they got Joe Manganiello. And I feel like the coolest part is this isn't like Shrinking, right? We're like these like, oh look, now we've got Colby Smulders as a regular on the show, or we got Michael J. Fox is going to be popping in and out of the show. No, what they've got is like they've got all these wacky characters that make an appearance once or twice before they die, and those are great opportunities for celebrities to come in and just do their thing. You know what I mean? And it makes it fun. I'm not saying that all of those actors died. In fact, none of the actors I mentioned died on the show, but there are opportunities for wacky characters to show up on the show and then maybe not make it to the end, and it's okay because there's a lot of wacky characters. And so, but yeah, I understand that there's something aesthetically about it that feels, I don't want to say cheap because that show's not cheap. It's not cheap, but not movie quality, I guess. I don't know. I get what you're saying.
I would almost lean it's more stylistic,
yeah,
like intentional.
But I like the camp of it. I think the camp of it is what is charming. I think that Umbrella Academy was campy in its own way, just like Doom Patrol is campy in its own way. But
yep. All these shows look exactly alike.
That's fair. I understand what you're saying. I can't.
Are you going to WonderCon this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend? No.
Oh, so you're coming up here this weekend?
I'm going to the Abilities Expo this weekend.
Yeah, you're already here.
I'm not going to just stay up there. No, I didn't realize WonderCon was already this weekend. It feels early. It's usually closer to Easter.
Next weekend's Easter.
This coming Sunday or the weekend after?
Weekend after.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Cool. Are you going to WonderCon?
No, I'm gone this weekend.
Oh, okay. It's like you knew I was coming up, and you're like, I'm gone.
I was really bummed. I was really bummed that I was gone this weekend because I'm like, oh, I've never seen you here.
Oh, fair enough.
So,
well, where are you going?
I will be in Texas, doing Texas things.
Got it. Okay. Do you want to answer my question about what you were nerding out
on? What have I been nerding out past 2 weeks? We had the only thing that we made like moments to go watch were we did like a semi Oscars spread. So we watched the Oscars. That was last weekend, or at least 2 weekends ago.
Mm-hmm.
I like Conan on TV. I think Conan needs to get back on TV. That was my biggest takeaway. But I'll say, like, as a hot take, I don't think Sinners should have won, or I don't think Sinners was the best movie. So I'm not surprised it didn't win.
I think it was definitely the best movie.
We did watch one battle after another. I don't know if I love that movie either, but I understand why Sean Penn won that award.
I feel that Sinners is a better movie. But technically, if you want to get real technical, there was one movie that was better than both of them.
Which one was it?
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh, yeah.
That movie was better than both. I'm just saying. But if you're not going to treat it like a real movie, then Sinners was the better movie.
I think K-pop Demon Hunters, or put it this way,
that was efficient storytelling.
A Netflix movie winning Best Picture there's a lot more politics in that decision than I think even K-pop Demon Hunters can overcome.
But we know that movie was superior to all movies last year. It was.
I wouldn't say that. It's a fine movie.
It's an excellent movie. It was the movie of the year for sure.
Well, you start going back to like, are the Oscars a popularity contest, or are they like, what is that award?
That's why I don't care. I don't care about the Oscars because
the Tom Cruise addendum where they made Top Gun get a nomination. Yeah, they kind of throw a bone at the top grossing movie.
I just think that if you look at One Battle After Another versus Sinners, I think that both movies are telling a story about the Black experience in America. And I think that one of them is telling it through the lens of a Forrest Gump character. And one of them is telling them through the lens of two Black brothers who fought for their country and still get treated like crap and just want to make make it on their own and have their own business and all these things. So what I'm saying is, like, I think if you look at who the storytellers are, like, I would prefer that the Black storytellers involved in Sinners won the award for a movie about the Black experience.
I mean, no, I'm not gonna. I think the argument is not correct. You're just assuming both those are. It's either one or the other.
I've seen Paul Thomas Anderson defend that movie, and he does not defend it with the conviction that Ryan Coogler defends his movie. I'm just saying.
I would argue that maybe a Frankenstein could have been better. You know what I mean? Like there's.
What are you talking about?
They were all up for best. We're talking about Best Picture.
Oh, you're saying that Frankenstein was even in the same ballpark as those two movies? Oh, yes. No, not even close. There were only two options for, if you're not going to include K-pop Demon Hunters, there's only two options for Best Picture last year. And they were those two. I'm just saying, if I have to split hairs between those two, I would rather it went to Sinners.
That's where I think I differ.
Frankenstein.
I don't think Sinners is a bad movie by any stretch.
I think Frankenstein is not a good movie. I think it's an okay movie that was.
Do you think
bogged down by a lot?
Is Sinners Ryan Coogler's best work?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had this conversation before, though.
We did. Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because last year, when I was singing the praises of this movie, you weren't feeling it either.
I don't think I feel it as like the movie to end all movies. Like, I think that it's
I think it is for last year. I think it's in the conversation between that and K-pop. And I understand why people like One Battle After Another. I do. I'm not a Paul Thomas Anderson hater. I generally like his movies. I think he should have gotten beat out by Sinners on that one, but whatever. It's okay. This is the most Oscar talk you're going to get out of me. I still think K-pop Demon Hunters is better.
My audio cut out.
I just said I still think K-pop Demon Hunters was better.
It's still cut out.
Oh no.
There we go. Okay, we're back.
Now I have to carry the show on my own.
We're back. I can hear you.
Okay. I just said I still think K-pop Demon Hunters was the better movie. It's
they're
okay.
They're getting a McDonald's meal, so you can celebrate that way.
Yeah, and Netflix has confirmed that they are making a sequel as well.
You actually want to talk about crazy? They kind of in a weird. They obviously want to go on tour, right? Or so, every party that Bees wants them to go on tour in some capacity. It's not part of that original contract, baby.
Nice, good for them.
So
that's good for them.
Coincidentally, they can actually go tour on their own if they wanted to, without using the K-pop stuff. But it's an interesting thing that'll happen next couple months to what they actually decide on.
Yeah, I think that those ladies want to play ball and just get a better contract negotiated for the second movie. You know what I mean? And I think that we'll see how it goes. But I don't have that all said. I have zero faith that the sequel will be as good as the first one. Because you know why?
I'm just happy they can stop singing Golden. That's one thing I feel bad. They got peddled around. Well, I won't say peddled, but they were doing a lot of engagements, singing engagements.
They were campaigning for Golden.
They were campaigning, but all they sang was Golden.
I know, and there are so many other better songs. Many other songs. Yeah, I agree.
Anyways,
done. That's kind of my favorite one.
Yeah, it's a good song. Should we be done with this and go into some news?
Wait, hold on a second. Have you played Marathon?
I'm downloading it right now.
Oh yeah.
I thought you don't like Looty Shoes.
I don't.
Oh, so I'm not. So I'm gonna like it. So you can tell me.
I got convinced to play it, and I feel bad because I don't like it.
Oh, I'll play. It's 3v3 squads, right? 3-person squads.
It's three squads. Yeah, but like you don't understand. I keep going back to play with the guys because they really, well, one of them is very excited about this game, and every time I play it, we just die all the time, just constantly dying.
You need a bodyguard, and that's kind of the role I play with Apex, where I kind of like just I don't really loot, I protect, and then
maybe I'll try that. I'll try that because I was thinking about that the other day as I was like, maybe I need to play the wall because I don't like looting.
And a good rule of thumb in those games is like killing people is a much faster way to get loot than finding loot.
Well, there's like missions where you have to go find loot and stuff like that. So for progression purposes, and I just don't. Yeah, I don't enjoy that game much at all, and I'm just trying to find a way to. But Fortnite new season, it's okay.
I have not turned on Fortnite like in months.
Yeah, they got rivals now. You get assigned a rival when you there's a machine, a kiosk you can go to.
I feel like that's been a thing. It's like a bounty.
Yeah, it's like a bounty. It's been a thing before. It's there again. Okay, I was just checking on games before we moved forward. Now you may proceed if you'd like.
Oh man, it's gonna be a long ass show. I just looked at the time.
Okay. It does. I mean, it was one episode of Daredevil. It can't be
off the bat. This was today. The Punisher special that's been floating around finally got announced with the date.
Okay.
Marvel Television special presentation. The Punisher One Last Kill is scheduled to release on May 12th.
May? So, oh my God.
Before Spider-Man and
what?
After Daredevil ends.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're going in reverse order. I'm not trying to talk about the Spider-Man trailer yet because you haven't.
It'll be about an hour, the special. So
okay.
But it can't be One Last Kill if he's showing up in Spider-Man.
Well, he might not kill anybody in that movie.
It's probably fair. I will say I think Punisher is kind of this litmus test of like for a Deadpool or for other characters where like you kind of scale him up or down, right? Like he's violent in Daredevil. I feel like he's going to be insane in this presentation.
Yeah.
But then obviously he's going to get
yeah, for sure.
Killed back for Spider-Man, but
yeah, well, it's like they did that for Netflix too, right? He was like a certain level of violence in Daredevil, and then when he got his own show, it was like, oh my God. But yeah, I think that they're not afraid to mess around now with violence in their little universe, especially when it comes to Daredevil and Punisher. And so I think from what I've heard in interviews, he says that this one shot or whatever you want to call it, this special presentation will make up for the lack of violence that he gets to do in Spider-Man. So like he understands that there's a ratings situation going on with one versus the other. And so the two are meant to complement each other basically. So expect it to be extremely violent. It's going to be the most violent thing that Disney's put out probably.
All right. Yeah. Continuing on the train, we are getting another season of Wonder Man.
That makes me so happy.
Coming sometime in the future. Nothing beyond that, except for it's going to be led by Destin Daniel Cretton, who did the first season, who was also doing Spider-Man. Yaya's back, and Ben Kingsley's back.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed was those three. That's it.
And this will kind of relate back to Daredevil, like Wonder Man season 2. Do other toys need to come into play?
No. not the way this show goes. But
is there a moment where that will have to happen?
Would it be fun if they did?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if they do, but I wouldn't be mad if they do at some point. I just want it to feel organic. You know what I mean? Like I want it to feel like it's a product of that world. But you know who I would rather come back more than a Marvel cameo? Josh Gad. I care more about Josh Gad returning in that show than I do about like She-Hulk showing up or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. That's just where I am. Just because I think that the show is a very intimate experience and it had a lot to say about Hollywood and the experience of being an actor.
I kind of get both sides, but I almost come to the camp, right? If you're setting up this character in the MCU, right? I feel like at some, and it doesn't, I'm not saying it has to be in season 2. You tell a good story, you tell a good story. But like, is the point for them to come back? You know what I mean? Like, isn't that the point of all of this? Is to get another toy in the toy box?
Yeah, but I think that was kind of the question that we had to answer when we were talking about that show, right? Is because I told you that's what Travis was telling us, is like, but what's the point? Like, what is this all leading to? And I would say, can't the story itself like be the enjoyment instead of where it ends? And so I don't know that I necessarily actually in this one instance need for them to be in the larger sandbox, but I know that they want to.
The longer they get, right? I think that's that's the question.
Yeah, I think the longer they can go without being in the sandbox, the better. Like, but we know it's an inevitability, so I just would rather it be organically woven story, you know. So we'll see. But I'm not mad. I'm not mad either way. Yeah. What else you got? There it is.
We got the Spider-Man trailer.
What
do you gotta say about the old Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer? Biggest trailer launch in history.
Yep.
That is a lot. 718 million views in 24 hours.
Yep. I love this trailer. I love this trailer for one simple reason. I mean, there's a lot of other little reasons that I love this trailer, but there's one simple reason. And I think that Tom Holland's Spider-Man has always been really good at this. I love watching Peter Parker suffer. I love it. It's the best. It's the most satisfying.
Kind of his whole deal.
It's his whole deal. And that trailer did an excellent job of showing me a Peter Parker suffering through the whole damn thing. And that's, yeah, I loved it. I loved it. Is it a chance for like a kind of a soft reboot? You know, it kind of is, right? Because they're giving you a new origin story, right? Like they're giving you the other storyline, which is when Peter goes through
we almost get a proper classic Spider-Man.
You almost do, and then they change it on. They turn it on its heels, and they say, "We're going to give him organic webs." But it's happened in the comics too after the movies did it, after the Sam Raimi movies did it. And whether or not you like it, it allows them to tell a story, a different story. I think there's something to be said about the fact that most of the Marvel universe nowadays, most of the movies are pulling from comics that came out within the last 25 years. And I think there's a reason why. It's because there's a lot more intent put into the story weaving, like the larger narrative that gets done, right? Like to the point where
they were definitely more arc focused.
Yeah,
in the more recent years, not
exactly. And so I think they're also more focused a lot of time in trying to do stuff that challenges the status quo in certain ways. And I think that in the 2000s, when J. Michael Straczynski was writing Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, all he did every week or every month, I think it was like bi-weekly that comic was coming out, was challenge the status quo by just doing bonkers stuff with this character. And that's what I dug about Civil War. That's what I dug about No Way Home, is they both are borrowing from stories that were from that time period where they do crazy stuff like out Peter Parker to the rest of the world or force him to try and erase everyone's minds and stuff like that, And so I love that Brand New Day that's the movie's called Brand New Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Brand New Day is continuing from the bonkers stories, and we're just going to keep getting more and more. But also there's the possibility of a larger arcing villain that might be in the story, because Moreland is a big part of the other storyline. So we'll see if
that's the spider god.
No, he's a vampire that feeds on
spiders,
animal totem people.
Spider animal totem people.
No, not just spider people.
Totem people.
Totem people. But Spider-Man proves to be a very challenging foe, and that's what makes him want him more and stuff. Yeah.
People are saying there's a Jean Grey in here too.
Or a Typhoid Mary. Yeah. I do know one thing, that I've learned my lesson from Spider-Man trailers and just Marvel trailers in general. I don't trust that trailer for one bit.
That's true. It's definitely different than the other one that got out there.
And I have a hard time believing that shot at the end of the trailer where Spider-Man is facing off against a billion hand ninjas. I feel like when we watch that movie, it's just going to be Daredevil.
Yeah.
Like, are you telling me Daredevil's not in this movie? That's crazy. No, I mean,
like the inverse to the Wonder Man question, right? Like now we have the trailer hit a lot of notes. I think because everyone's been waiting for it. But just you had the hand, you had the Punisher, you had
probably Typhoid Mary.
You had Scorpion in there. You had Tarantula in there. You had Boomerang in there. And this is all in like a span of like 2 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is the ultimate Spider-Man playing with all the toys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any decade ago or any other Spider-Man movie, you only got one of those things, maybe two. And this is just like, this is Spider-Man in New York. Here's all the Spider-Man New York things that he has to deal with. The only thing that is kind of weird in that trailer is he gets the key to the city. Typically, the mayor gives you the key to the city. That was not Mayor Fisk. Who knows what happens in this upcoming season of Daredevil? But,
I mean, there is something else to be said about if you speculate that the hand is going to be, if you speculate that Daredevil's in those scenes that they're not showing us, where they're fighting the hand, they're fighting the hand in a prison.
That's true.
So if you want to, I can't help but notice, like you said, the timing is interesting, that Daredevil season 2 lines up and ends perfectly 2 weeks before Spider-Man and 1 week before the Punisher has his own special. And then Punisher shows up a week later in Spider-Man. I'm just saying, I would not be surprised if the shenanigans that take place in season 2 of Daredevil lead to Daredevil in prison.
I see. Like, if what you're proposing is what happens in some capacity, like that is a dream MCU, right?
We're all three projects back to back coincide with each other. That's the dream that we've always had, right?
Yeah,
and these shows were seamlessly from TV
one
to
show
movies.
Dips in. Yeah, it's
the dream. And we got the softest little tease of it that time that Hawkeye ended the week before Spider-Man came out, right? Like where they had like the winter in the background and you could see the play was Spider-Man was actually trying to do as much as they could to nod to the events of the Hawkeye thing. But the Hawkeye thing wasn't willing to play ball in the reverse order because it was too busy setting up Daredevil. I just feel like that's the direction we've been going since then, though, is like, let's just be real. This is going to have Daredevil. So let's just do this. Let's just, I want this so bad. And like, that's why that trailer it knocked it out of the park for me. Because it has all the things I want without showing me all the things I want. You know what I mean? Like, now, granted, it could be us hyping ourselves up to disappointment, but really, how mad will we? I think I'm entitled to it. I'm
the offering to what we're getting.
I'm gonna be pissed though if Daredevil's not in that movie, though, right?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be pissed?
The hand makes me be pissed.
Right. Exactly. If the hand wasn't there, I could forgive it.
If they were any other ninja.
Yeah. Right. They look good too. They look better than they did in the Daredevil show.
No.
They look pretty good. But they look cartoony as hell. They do. They just look like cartoon ninjas, you know? And so, yes, I will be upset if there's no Daredevil. But that said, I mean, do you have any other news or should we actually talk about Daredevil?
There's only 2 bits of news. Ryan Gosling doing press for Project Hail Mary.
Definitely in talks.
Doing
gangbusters
pretty well.
In talks, and he's mentioned he's in talks for Ghost Rider, right?
Yes and no. He confirmed that there have been conversations, multiple conversations about that character. I guess he's in talks, but I think it's more past tense, not.
We have talked.
I have talked to Feige about Ghost Rider, and that's it.
Yeah. I can't help but wonder if they're a little gun shy after Mahershala, you know. They're just trying to be a little cautious, but
I didn't have it in my news, but they did announce their slate till 2030, I believe, their Marvel MCU slate. I believe 2028 is another 4-movie year.
Oh my gosh.
But when you kind of start mapping it out, and like what probably is there and whatnot.
When does Kang come back?
I don't think Blade's coming back. I don't think we're ever getting a Blade.
Oh man, that's rough, dude. What about Kang though?
Kang got married.
He got married? Oh, you mean in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear he's got like he's doing a movie with what's this? Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's producing a movie for him.
Oh no!
So it's gone in that direction.
He's following the Gina Carano playbook.
Yep.
I see.
Yes. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Are you excited for Mando Grogu?
Nope, not at all. But I know that you want to do the show. So.
I don't know if I want to do the show, but it's like I keep checking in because I'm like, that movie's like in 2 weeks.
It looks terrible. It looks so bad. Doesn't it look bad? It looks bad though, right?
It looks like Mandalorian. It looks like it was filmed in the volume, right?
Sure.
I don't know if that technology works for movies.
I don't think it's that the technology is the problem. It's that I don't know that I care about the story they're trying to present to me in that movie.
I'm happy to see. I'll support it on the premise that I think a Star Wars movie every couple of years is a good thing.
That's bad reasoning. I don't think we should just do that. Like, I think that's how we got a lot of awkward Spider-Man movies, man.
Well, it's like I don't mind a Star Wars movie every couple of years, but when a numbered thing comes out, because that is coming, we're getting episode 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they choose to call it, but a continuation of the Rey story, which would presumably be in episode 10.
That's actually happening?
Yeah, they did a whole 23.
Even though Dave Filoni's in charge now?
Until another D23, that is a thing that is happening.
Oh my god.
Those
conventions are every 2 years.
You got the Ryan Gosling movie that's filmed already, and then
there's a Ryan Gosling Star Wars film.
Yeah, it's directed by Sean Levy.
And what's it about?
It's called Star Wars Starfighter.
Oh boy. That was
when another number thing comes out, I need the freaking Pepsi roll out the multi-brand awareness campaign.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You're okay with just like a random one. I think that Mandalorian had created such a great buzz behind it that it deserves better than this movie.
The movie's too late. The movie should have been 2 years ago.
Yeah, but it should have been the finale to their story.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but I don't feel like they want this story to end. And so I could be wrong. If he dies at the end of this movie, I'll be like, it's the greatest movie ever.
No, they're definitely in a pickle, right? Where they picked a cool time to tell the story, right? Because it wasn't really a part we've seen on TV, but then that's not that big of a window of time in like Star Wars lore. So now you're kind of at this like bookend of like, oh.
But seriously though, if he died,
that'd be pretty fucking cool.
It would be, right?
The movie ends with him dying,
and then Grogu has to go off and just do the next hundreds of years.
And he takes off the helmet and puts the helmet on Grogu.
Yeah, there you go. It'd be excellent. It'd be excellent if he died, but he's not going to die. They're not going to kill him in that movie, so it's fine. Whatever. I'm ready to talk about Daredevil Born Again since it's almost been an hour.
Okay. Daredevil Born Again Season 2 Episode 1. What does this episode have? Does that have a title? The Northern Star.
The Northern Star.
The name of the ship, right?
It is the name of the ship that Daredevil raids at the beginning of the movie. It is this show has taken place. The show takes place sometime after the end of the last season.
A couple months, looks like.
It's a few weeks, months, something. It's hard to tell, but we basically consider the first season to be the setup for everything, right? We now, like, Wilson Fisk has taken control of New York in his own way, and now he is using those docks that he opened up as a smuggling operation, likely international smuggling happening, or whatever, all kinds of lots of money being transferred, right? And so this show is taking place with Daredevil with a new suit now, is boarding one of the ships that is participating in the smuggling. And spoiler warning, I guess, by the way, because you guys probably watched this. If you haven't watched it in the last 3 hours, then we're spoiling it for you. But Daredevil is basically trying to gain information about the ship, where it's coming from, anything like that. And the captain of the ship is ordered. He has orders to just self-destruct the ship if people board it. And so the whole episode, the backdrop is this giant freighter that's halfway sticking out of the water. And everybody's trying to figure out what to do with it. And they're blaming it on Daredevil. It's a terrorist attack, right? He's equating him to terrorists. He's got his, I want to get this right, because the letters do not spell ICE. AVTF.
Anti-Vigilante Task Force.
Yes. Yeah. But in my eyes, I see ICE. Like, I get kind of tired every year, or every time a new season of Daredevil comes out, how good they are at predicting the trajectory of things, because you have to remember they write these things a long time ago, right? They do write these things. Like, remember when we watched the last season of it and we're remembering, oh, this was all written during COVID, and it's because of a writer's strike and all this stuff that it's coming out as late as it is. but it didn't feel like it was late, right? It felt very, very contemporary. Well, this one hurts even more watching.
Well, that's a funny thing you note that the first season was very weird in the sense that they had shot for like 6 episodes,
yeah,
and then stopped and then rewrote
and re-edited.
Like, they basically were shooting a show without Karen or Foggy, and then reshot and edited the show to include a Karen and Foggy.
Mm-hmm.
So most of what we got with
maybe not Foggy.
Well, sure, maybe not Foggy, but most of that show was that show's a marvel because it they pulled off a somewhat cohesive story given that circumstance.
Yeah.
So this season, by all accounts, though, is with the same writing team and same. There were no changes in the season halfway through production.
Right. So we get to see their clear vision, better or worse, right?
Yeah.
Do you think so far this was for the better or for the worse?
I think it's better. It's definitely they pick up right where they left off. You see Daredevil do Daredevil things. He has the D's on the chest finally.
They look good. I really like the choice to make the suit black because then the D's they pop more, right? The red pops against the black.
This is the first original, I guess, what they're claiming is original Daredevil suit that the show has created.
It has nods. I've seen there's suits like it in the comics, but it is great. It is awesome.
But there's also, watching this episode, there's a lot of little nice nuggets, right, to just everything going on with Fisk, with Foggy, with Ben Urich, BB Urich. Like they're connecting. They do a good job of connecting all the dots again for you. But then they throw in like some extra layers, right? Like who's Matthew Lillard playing?
Matthew Lillard is playing Mr. Charles. I do not know a single thing about this character.
But he's on the right, and he mentions Val or DeFontaine.
Did he mention her?
Yeah. She's like, DeFontaine's not gonna like that.
And okay. Gotcha.
I just that line alone now tells me more than I need to know, about.
That's cool.
There's other weird shit going, like, you start connecting this thing a little bit more.
Now, see, I will tell you from my perspective, I missed the DeFontaine reference, but I still understood his character. The point of his character is to show you that there are people involved in Wilson Fisk's operations that have a lot invested in this operation going smoothly. And so you get to see how high up the food chain is involved in the success of Wilson Fisk. And so when you understand that, you understand that it's going to be significantly harder for Matt to take down Wilson than he believes, right? Because now you have people coming from Langley to come help with Wilson Fisk, and they're not even afraid of Wilson Fisk. And I think that was the coolest thing I got out of that episode with Matthew Lillard opposite Vincent D'Onofrio, is he actually wasn't intimidated. And that told me two things. One, this character has massive balls, and two, he is dead by the end of the season. Like, there is no way that character's not dead. But it's also, you get,
if he is of a status where I think they're alluding to, it's like,
it's going to be bad for Wilson.
Well, it's bad for Wilson, but there's people that know exactly what he's up to, and that are just cool with it, right? For better, for worse. So like, they need to have him do his thing. They can keep doing their thing.
Would you like me to spoil something that I'm feeling in this? So, like I mentioned before, that Spider-Man trailer made me think things. Also, another thing that made me think things is Brian Michael Bendis wrote an incredible run of Daredevil. It's from the early 2000s, like everything that gets pulled from. He is an acting consultant on this show. He is the consultant as far as the Marvel comic-ness of it goes. When his run ended, the next story that happened, because his run ends, I think, with Daredevil being outed to the public, which we almost got in this episode, right? Technically, we almost had it happen. Daredevil goes to prison at the end of the story that follows, and not only does he go to prison, but he is in prison with Wilson at the same time. And so I wouldn't mind a world where both of these characters, for all their different things they're doing, both end up in prison together at the end of this show. That would be kind of funny and awesome. And
do you need to be done with Wilson Fisk at a certain point?
Nope, never. Ever
need to play with the Spider-Man at some point.
Sure, but I will just tell you that Wilson Fisk is one of the greatest villains ever in the comics, because, and this is why, he is the most real person in those comic books. As even though he's as giant as a house, you know what I mean? Like, the threats he poses to everyday people, to anybody who crosses his path, they're just real threats. They're not fantastical. You know what I mean? Like, they're just, the question is, watching the world play out as it has in your lifetime, do you find anything about Wilson Fisk to actually be unbelievable?
No.
And the saddest part is, there was probably a time in our lives where we did. And that's how much art imitating life, imitating art has happened in our lives. But without getting too political about it, I do think that Wilson is just a great character, and he's an executive producer on the show now. I notice him and Charlie Cox both are. I think that's great for them, because this show can't exist without the two of them. The two of them are what make the show. They carry the show. You know what I mean? It's like when we were talking about Monarch, how like it splits back and forth between these two stories, right? But half the time it's terrible, and the other half it's cool. In this show, every time it splits and goes to Wilson, I'm still entertained. I'm super entertained. In fact, I'm super invested. And then it goes back to Matt, and I'm super entertained and I'm invested. And I just think that is the sauce. And then the extra, like, super awesome is when you put the two of them in the scene together. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a perfect chemistry of two characters. And I would hate to see, I've seen what the show looks like without Wilson. That was season 2 of Netflix Daredevil, and it was hard. The only reason it succeeded is because Frank Castle was in like the first half of it, and he was awesome also. Like, Frank and Daredevil also have great chemistry, right? I think that's what's really cool about Daredevil is in pop culture now, is we have decided that Daredevil is really cool pair with Frank, and he's really cool with Wilson, and a lot of people are pretty sure he'd be really cool with Spider-Man too. You know, like I think he's the Deadpool, right? Like, he's the serious Deadpool, is like, who can we put Daredevil in a room with and make that story cool? So that said, I think this entire episode was just a thrilling ride for me, because when I started the recap, you know, it started reintroducing me to like, oh yeah, Foggy dies. And then a year later, Matt is trying to rebuild his life, right? And he's got like these other people in his life that I don't really know, because maybe I am not current on the books, but I don't think they're even from the books. I think they're just characters that are there. And I was telling Lindsay, I was like, you know, the interesting thing, I know a lot of people get mad at this show for killing Foggy and then rewriting the whole story, but the way I see it is Cherry and then like McDuffie, like his new entourage of people, they're people that need to die. They're gonna die in this story. And I was like, these people are set up to die because Matt's life is pretty tragic too. You know what I mean? Like it's not like necessarily Spider-Man levels of tragic, but it's pretty tragic. And so it was very sad and satisfying. The last scene of this episode is Cherry being attacked by Wilson Fisk's task force. And he just got done messaging Matt that he can't make their meeting. And you're watching him get beat to death by these officers. And then you get a glint of hope, right? The baton comes through the room and starts hitting everybody. And you're like, oh man, Matt understood the assignment, right? And he shows up to start saving Cherry. And then with Matt's power, he can freaking hear Cherry's heart failing. And that is so awesome because I'm not going to lie, I really never loved Cherry in season 1, but I suddenly felt the emotional weight of what Cherry had done. He'd been helping Matt, right? He's been his assistant, like, and it hurt, right? Did it kind of hurt?
Yeah, it hurt a little. I took slight issue with that scene.
Okay, explain.
Because Wilson knows who Daredevil is.
Yep.
Wilson Fisk. He knows he's Matt Murdock. He has a understanding of how his powers work.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't like if Matt Murdock is the terrorist that you're labeling as. You wouldn't throw your army, your ICE agents a bone like, hey, play some music while you're killing someone. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that if we went back and rewatched it, those two have like an understanding for each other, right? Like that for whatever reason, Wilson's not playing.
It's like a Joker Batman situation.
Wilson's not playing that card yet, right? But I think he's real close to playing that card. So I would not. I'm not going to fault you for saying what you're saying, but I think give it.
Go get the towel hoppers.
Get it. I'm saying
put them in New York.
Yeah, I'm saying I wouldn't rule that out, Ricky. I think we're really close to getting there. I think it's probably going to happen. Because if I remember correctly, like in the Netflix show, it becomes an issue of like if you want your wife to be safe,
yeah,
you're not going to tell me, or you're not going to tell on me or whatever. He's not actually going to kill Vanessa, but he would get her arrested, right? Like that's what he would do and prosecuted. But that kind of is off the table now, right? Because Vanessa's safe with Wilson. So I don't know why he hasn't pulled the trigger on it yet, but I feel that the writers will tell us why, and we will know, because they were teasing us by having the cops pull Matt's mask off, right? Because they were like, oh, it's him, like, and they were going to call it in, and then all of a sudden they all get murdered by Bullseye, who also knows who Daredevil is, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's known for a while too. So yeah, this show went crazy. Also, that's BB making the videos as the fake Kingpin, right?
Yeah, that's what I took as that.
That girl gonna die too. I mean, they were kind of foreshadowing that too, also, right? Like, not even foreshadowing. Like, Karen's like, "Don't get yourself killed like your uncle did." I thought that was cool that they actually used the picture of the actor from season 1 of Daredevil. He has no business being referenced, other than they just want to.
Man, it's a royalty check, baby.
They wanted to show you that they are 100% a continuation of that story. You know what I mean? So anybody who ever said that the Netflix stuff won't matter, shame on them.
Here's my piece on it is it won't matter. That, along with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., won't matter until they're brought back in some capacity. So that BB thing's enough for me. I will be bummed, right? Look, there's no surprise. Jessica Jones.
What about Bullseye?
Well, yeah, they're back. They're back yeah. I know we're getting Jessica Jones back. I think they have an opportunity to bring everyone back.
If they want to really win everybody over, you bring Jessica Henwick back as the Iron Fist. Because that show ended with her becoming the Iron Fist. And I think that was the way less problematic solution to the Iron Fist show, is actually giving an Asian American this Asian superpower. And I think that would be really cool if they did that. Are you aware that they did that?
No.
Oh, you did not know that what's his face gave the power to her by the end of the show? Because they knew their show was problematic as fuck, dude. Like, they knew it was. They knew it was.
Why bring that character back?
What? What do you mean?
Oh, I mean, no, like, why even go down that lane in the first place?
Because they were trying to do the show as faithful to the comics, and then they just realized halfway through, this is ugly. This is not good. This is not good. It's not good. It's not a good look. And I think they just wanted to do it because everybody already liked Luke Cage, and we like Jessica Jones, and we wanted to see those. And they're fine in the comics, you know. But I think there's something cool about having Colleen Wing be the Iron Fist in this new world. So that would be the ultimate pull for me, is if we get Luke and a new Iron Fist.
I'll take an Iron Fist in the tracksuit.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
I'll take yeah.
But I do think that this show has a lot of surprises ahead of us, and I think they did a great job of establishing little stories that we're going to have to pay attention to follow. But the one for me that's most interesting is Matthew Lillard. And I got to say, honestly, fuck Quentin Tarantino for hating on Matthew Lillard, because that guy, I think, gave us an awesome scene with Vincent D'Onofrio, who I honestly think is one of the greatest actors of our time. Vincent D'Onofrio is an amazing character actor. And so if you can hold your own in a scene with Vincent D'Onofrio, you are not a terrible actor, okay? I'm just saying. He carried 2 scenes with that guy in this episode.
I don't know if I want to go down this battle.
What? You don't want to start a fight with Quentin Tarantino?
No.
Okay, fine. I'm saying there was no reason to start calling out Matthew Lillard. Poor innocent Matthew Lillard. All he's ever done is brought joy to our hearts. And also,
I liked him in this episode.
Yeah, he's interesting, right? He's something new and mysterious. It's cool. I also like how many F-bombs Karen dropped in this show.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was cool. It was cool. Yeah. I'm pretty excited for this season. It's really fun so far. I'm super happy that this show's back.
Well, I'm excited it's back. I'm excited that we get 2 episodes next week.
We're gonna do that.
We'll be able to watch them. I'll be able to watch them, I think.
All right. We'll do it.
All right, true believers. Thanks for. We're getting ready to go to bed.
You're sleepy.
Thanks for sticking with us the extra couple of minutes while we talked about Daredevil. You can catch us back here next week. But until then,